squat into the center of your mat with your toes touching and your heels touching. Just kind of squat over your feet. From there, the heels will probably come apart. Don't worry too much about it. You're just going to generally get into the feet. So set your knees down with your toes flipped up underneath you. Now, if you stay leaning forward a little bit, that'll be a really gentle stretch for the feet. The more you sit back, the more your body weight starts to go down into those feet, and it'll be a much deeper stretch. I have a bit of a broken foot from a really old injury, so I always have to kind of readjust once I get up there, and I find this really intense. So at any point in time, if it's too much, you can just lean forward, take the weight out of the feet a little bit. Okay, from here, extend your arms out, maybe even a little bit up. And you're going to squeeze your hands into fists. So arms are up, squeeze into fists. And squeeze fairly strong. Feel it come through the wrists, feel it come through your forearms, maybe even up into the shoulders and upper back. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then flick your fingers open like you're shaking water off them. Squeeze, flip. Squeeze, flip. Once you got the feel for it, pick up the pace. But don't lose the squeeze. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Awesome, relax. Beautiful. You can lean forward, put those toes out, wiggle them around a little bit. And you're free to sit back on your heels. If this is an uncomfortable position for you, you can be up on your knees. If you happen to have the body type, these hip joints that are designed for a nice deep squat, you can do this in a nice deep squat. Doesn't matter, any of those options. If you want to get a little bit more into the musculature and tendons of the wrist, then you can tuck your forearms behind your knees and squat after that. You just stagger your hands. Show that to you here. Okay? Either way, whatever position you're in, extend the hands wide, like you're reaching, 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 and then grab. Reach and grab. Reach and grab. And once you've got the feel for it, just pick up the pace. 5. Keep the grab. 3, 2, 1. Beautiful, relax. Take those out. Now that can create a bit of a pump in the wrists, so give yourself a little bit of time. We are never in a hurry in these classes. We look for a quality of movement, so let your wrists recover. And then once you're ready, you can come up into a tabletop. Hands under the shoulders, knees under your hips. Okay, the opposite of what we want you to do in this next step is this. This is actually not a bad move. This is letting go of any tension and engagement along your core and just letting basically your thigh and hip bones and your arms hold you up. We want to do the opposite of that. So that would be lifting the low belly away from the floor, lifting the mid belly, lifting the ribs, lifting the throat, lifting the face. Now this is different, not this. We are here a lot in our day with this neck kind of bent and the head dangling forward. And what I'll see in classes is people doing their core and then their head's kind of hanging out here, just disassociated from the rest of the spine, right? So in order to correct that, tuck your chin a little bit into your throat and then lift your whole face from forehead to chin away from the floor. And you should feel it as a stretch along the back of the neck. And you're not jamming anything up, just mobility, just looking to go to the edge where you start to feel the muscle resist and get a little bit of a stretch. That's it, that's all you need. Ribs are up, breathe into the back of the ribs. Belly is up, and especially low belly, Uddiyana Bandha. Take that low belly up. There's a few different cues that work for people for that. For some of you, it's like as though you're coughing. You feel that sort of engagement. Just keep about half of it. That's usually enough. Okay, while we're here, this is your base action. This entire front of your core, lifting up away from the floor. While we're here, we'll keep working on fists and wrists. Keep your elbows straight, core up. 1 inch at a time, 1 hand at a time. We're going to turn these fingers to start to point at your knees. Okay, so keep your elbows straight. One arm lifts, turn, plant. The other arm lifts, turn, plant. Lift, turn, lift, and turn. And you can bend the elbows, but if you keep them straight, it forces the muscle around the shoulder blade and at the back to work, which is great, especially if you've been sitting at a desk all day. Okay, and as you lift and turn, you get those fingers to turn as far back towards pointing at your knees as they will go. And once you've gotten there, then the heels of both of your hands plant, grip the mat, and lift that front core. Okay, if you are very mobile, that means these fingers really easily pointed straight back at your knees, and this is a reasonably mild stretch for you, then you can planche. You can use your toes underneath for a little bit of balance if you like, and just start to sit back. And you might even peel the heel of the hand up off the floor. Leave your fingers anchored though. 5. This can be intense, that's fine. If it starts to feel painful, like a sharp pain, like a sharp sensation, sit up. 2, come out of that. That's never helpful. 1. Perfect. If you sat back, sit forward again, and then 1 hand at a time, 1 inch at a time, lift and walk your hands back to that starting point. Fabulous. Once you're there, take gorilla pose. Make fists, plant your top knuckles, palms turned in, face each other like a big silverback. Okay, take most of the weight in your left fist, lift that front core, and then set the top of your right hand to the floor. If you need to, you can open these fingers up, but it will really release a lot of the tension. So do your best to set that top of fist to the floor. You can also bend in the elbow a little bit if that helps relieve that, any sharp pain from that. Switch, take most of the weight into that right fist, top of the left fist sinks towards the floor. And come up, exhale, sink the right fist, and up, and left. Fantastic. Plant your hands flat to the mat. Fingers close together, no space between them. Palms down. Front core is up, 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 up. Leave your fingers flat and lift your right heel of the hand up off the floor. And then sink it back down. Left heel of hand comes up. Back down. And some of you will get barely a half an inch up off the floor, and some of you will come all the way up. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're feeling that stretch through the tendons of the hand, you're working in your range of motion for now, that's great. If this is pretty easy for you, you've got lots of mobility in here, keep going. If this is pretty easy for you, then you can keep your heart right up over your thumbs and lift the heels of your hands without bending at the knuckle, right up onto your fingertips and down. So the trick with this is you kind of make it easy on yourself by rocking away from it and leaning back forward. Keep your heart right over the thumbs. Lift and drop. And lift and lower. We'll do one more. Lift. And for those of you alternating hands, one more. There you go. Perfect. Sit back. Wiggle those fingers. Shake the wrists out a little bit. Cool. Okay, and then hitchhike, or for the younger in the crowd, like on your Facebook page. Like, open your fingers, tuck the thumbs into the palm, and then wrap those fingers around the palm. Like how you're not supposed to box. Okay, from there, take this top knuckle of the thumb and press it forward. Nice and easy. This tends to be a pretty tight spot, especially if you're here a lot, like I am. You tend to be a little bit tight, and you can paint the fence a little bit, just moving the hands back and forth. But nice and easy, nice and easy. Especially if this is new to you, you're really looking for mobility more than anything. You don't need to make the stretch intense. You're just going to move these wrists and fingers and hands and forearms in new ways. That's great. Release. Again, just move, shake. Perfect. Okay. Tense your fingers as though you're holding onto 2 big grapefruits. Tent them on the floor and then squeeze the grapefruit. In other words, grip the mat. Grip. Come back up into tabletop. And this is just a grip strengthening exercise, so as soon as these finger joints start to feel tired, you're done, just plant your hands flat. You can keep gripping the mat even there. But here for now, tent and grip. All right, let's move through cat-cow while we're here. Start to lift your mid-back towards the ceiling. Feel the back ribs spread, your front ribs come together. Tuck your chin. Curl your forehead towards your tailbone. Lift those back ribs a little higher, and then take as big of a breath as you can here. Awesome, switch. Keep gripping the mat. Switch to cow. Belly sinks towards the floor, and you start to look up. Tip of the tailbone draws a line up the back of the ceiling, or back of the room towards the ceiling. Take a big breath here. And then just move between those two a few times, looking underneath. And looking up. There's all kinds of variation on cat-cow. You can do it as a wave, kind of starting with the tail and working your way through the mid-back, upper back, and neck. Same thing on the other way. This is a bit more complicated to isolate parts of the spine. If those fingers are getting tired, just plant your hands flat. I like to do a nice functional motion here. Just think about if I were opening up into a back bend, or if I were curling myself towards a pike. And that's probably good. Come to neutral, halfway between those two actions for a little bit of bird dog. And we'll do a small variation on bird dog. So the front core is lifted, lifted, lifted. Take all the weight out of your right knee. So you'll see this right hip lift just enough to allow that right knee to not be taking weight. And then you want to watch the hips. If you do this by lifting the hip, then you're creating the action in your back. Don't worry about it. There's nothing wrong with this. It's just another motion of the human body. But right now, we're trying to get you into this hip joint. So you want to try and keep this back as still as possible. All right? So focus on the low belly being up and strong, or that cough. Lift all the way down your right knee. And then just keep the right knee bent, just for easy access to the hip. You're really focusing on this joint. So keep the other joints pretty quiet. You're going to start to kick that heel up and back behind you. Keep the low back strong. And the moment you're tempted to want to lift or bend in the back, just stop. Just kick, kick, kick until you feel that. And then keep this lifted knee as high from the floor as it's got here. Take it out to the side. So you'll feel the ankle drop. Sweep it out to the side. Try and bring it up to your shoulder. And then back, and then tap the toe. Tap the toe. Tap the toe. Good. And sweep back. Nothing major, just a simple movement. It's hard, but it's simple. Okay, we'll take it on the other side. Lift that core. Low belly is strong. Take all the weight out of your left knee. And then again, start to kick that left heel up towards the ceiling. And just go till you feel like the back's going to start wanting to do it. Keep that knee up as high as you can as it sweeps out to the side. And back out. Tap the toe. Tap the toe. See how easy it is to drop the neck. Tap the toe. And then head back. Nothing major. You're just introducing that motion. Set your toes off the back edge of your mat. Settle down on the floor. Relax.